God prospered his people. In every way, in every shape, in every form, if you believed and you trusted in the move of God in your life through you, and you believed that, God came through for you. Thanks, beautiful ones. How you doing? Good. All right. Welcome back. I have something I want to talk to you guys about. And I think that, I talk a lot about the laws of the universe, right? I talk a lot about that. And I talk a lot about how that works. But what I want to do in this video is go in depth with you guys about how to actually use the laws of the universe. And one of the major ways that I've used the law of the universe is that I've used the law of assumption a lot. So when I was first on my journey to financial freedom, I used the law of assumption a lot. Now, a lot of people call it the law of assumption, but I call it just having faith, right? Like, I feel like it's just really having faith and belief and trust in the move of God through us and in our lives, and even around money. And so when money really started flowing in my life, I took a whole different perception about money. And I took a whole different perception about how to use money, how to activate money, how to talk about money. But I did a little bit of identity shifting. So at the point when I first started this journey to tithing myself to wealth, because as you guys know, I will say that forever, that I am tithing myself to wealth. And I am constantly tithing myself to more wealth and more wealth and more wealth. And I truly believe that. But before I was able to do that, I had to really change my perception about money. So my perception about money was that you have to work hard, that rich people are bad people, and that the harder you work, the more money you make, and then you have to just save it and you can't really live, right? I had to really look at why that was being taught. Like, why was the people that I trusted the most teaching me that it was okay for me to be broke and struggling, right? So as I am sitting up learning things and reading my word and going to church, these are the things that I'm hearing, that you don't have a place in the kingdom if you have money. All these things that make absolutely no sense when you really think about it. When you really think about how God prospers his people, right? And how God has constantly prospered his people. And even if you just look at the Old Testament, right? Because a lot of people get hung up on the New Testament sometimes and say, yeah, well, that's just written because of this and this and this. Everybody has their reasons or their thoughts about it. But here's what I know for sure, is that in the Old and the New Testament, God prospered his people. In every way, in every shape, in every form, if you believed and you trusted in the move of God in your life through you, and you believed that, God came through for you. So you had to have the identity of, I know that it is okay for me to be supported. I know that God is going to support me. And I know that all things work in my favor. And that includes money. See, a lot of times we want to leave that part out. We want to know that everything else works for us, but not money, because God doesn't deal in money. But here's the thing. God does deal in money, because money helps us to continue to light the world differently, right? When money is in the hands of good people, good things happen. If you think about how you can transform and change not only your life as a living and walking, talking, breathing testimony to how God will prosper you, how you can help the lives of other people. When I didn't have any money, I couldn't sit up and tell people, God is going to bless you and God is going to give you money. God is going to bring you up out of this, and you just have to choose a new thought about money, because they're like, why aren't you choosing that thought? And why don't you have no money? And why is your car barely starting? And why do you live in this little apartment? And people associate wealth with things, even though it's not all about material wealth. That's not the reason that we're even seeking the wealth. It's not all about material wealth, but material wealth is not wrong. Manifesting and attracting money is not delusional, as people teach. It's having faith in the substance. Do you understand what I mean? God is the unlimited substance of all things, right? Your higher power, your higher source is the substance of all the things that you desire. There is nothing that you desire that God does not have the ability to bring into your physical reality. Like, absolutely, positively nothing. The thing is, when you begin to act in the law of assumption, it's just assuming that it's already done. And you know what? I'm going to break down a lot of the laws that nobody talks about, because if you only operate from the law of attraction, you don't even know what else is available to you, right? Once you understand and make up your mind, and attracting money and having money and being spiritual and rich is simply deciding that that is who you are. You don't have to change anything about you. You don't have to. The thing you got to change is your mind. So let me not say you have to. Let me not say now that you have to change anything about you, because the thing that you have to change is your mindset. You have to change how you think about money, how you think about you and money, how you think about the ways that money can come to you, how you think about how money flows to you, and how freely money can flow into your life. Let me tell you guys about the very first time I co-created and manifested $75,000 in one day. So I got up that morning and I set the intention for my day, right? So after I went through my practice, I set the intention for that day. Now, I used to get up and say, okay, God, I'd grab pencil and paper and I'd be like, I have to get these many clients to do this much stuff, to pay this much. I used to line it all out and say, okay, I need the money to come like that, Lord, right? Until I understood that those people are not my source. God is my source, right? So I changed my perception around money. I changed my identity. I already saw myself as a rich, wealthy entrepreneur. I told myself that it was okay to be spiritual and rich, that I didn't have to be spiritual and broke, or that just because I believed in God didn't mean I didn't have to have any money, right? So I had already worked around that. I got up that morning and I set my intention. And the intention for that day was to attract $75,000. And I did not care how it came. I did not care where it came from. As long as no one was hurt, harmed, or that it did not interfere with anything that anybody else had going on in their lives, I did not care. I didn't care if it came in pennies, dimes, nickels, quarters, stocks, bonds, gold. I didn't care. However, God chose to allow that flow of $75,000 to come into my life, I was open to it and I was aligned to it. I set the intention and I went on about my day, right? And I went on about my day from a space of being super happy, right? I was so happy because I knew that the money was coming. I didn't know how it was going to show up. I didn't even know when it was going to show up, but I knew by the end of that day, I was going to have $75,000 in my bank account. went about my day, did my work, was sitting at my computer, and the Spirit said, offer this course. I was like, I've already done that course before, and I did it years ago, and it needed to be revamped and redone. And they said, offer the course. Get in there, clean it up, add to it, right? Add to it, clean it up, and re-offer the course and increase the price. This course was my $1 million mindset, and it was only for women who were making 4 figures or more, that owned a business or that was in sales, that was available to spend the amount of money of the course. I was like, okay, I haven't done this in a long time. Spirit said, offer the course. So I got with my team and I said, okay, we're going to revamp this course really quick. I gave them all different sections. I said, this is what we're going to do. We revamped the course. By 2:30 p.m., I was able to re-offer the course. And I have an email list for these specific people. And people have been added to the list as they come to me for different coaching, different mentor sessions, etc. We sent it to that list. I was like, okay, y'all. Hands off, hands up. Within 24 hours. Y'all hear me? Do y'all hear what I'm saying? Within 24 hours, I had made $78,000. $78,000 in one day. You know why? Number one, I shift my perception. That was the first thing. The second thing I did was I listened to inspired action. Even though I thought that my way of doing it, because I'd already done it, was the best way, I did it anyway. I did what Spirit told me to do. You understand what I'm saying? I also released all attachment to the outcome, knowing that it was already done. You see what I'm saying? God will do amazing things in your life. Like, amazing things. I have so many stories. I could tell you guys so many stories about things that have happened, not only to me, but to my clients, that there's just no physical explanation for. Like, when I say no physical explanation for, these are my client books. This is a new one that I'm starting. But these are my client books that I keep all of my sessions in, the records of my sessions, etc. I have about 200 of these because I've been doing sessions forever, right? And they're all gold. The things that are in these books and the things that I have seen God do are mind-blowing. And He will do the same thing for you. There are things that we have to do, right? I told somebody recently, I had a conversation with someone, I told them, I said, it's not just going to fall out of the sky. But out of no way, a way will be made. You have to trust that, know it, regardless. I made a commitment. My commitment, which I share with you guys because I feel like it's important, is my tithing. That's my commitment to God and myself. God says you can tithe yourself to wealth. I prove it. Prove it to me. So everything I get, even that $78,000, I tithe off of it. When you know that you know that you know, and you become so aligned with the truth of who you are. Because the truth is that you are a very prosperous, abundant being in every facet of your life. Everything about you is abundant and prosperous and dynamic and wonderful. And there's no way around that. Once you get aligned with that truth, boy, does life change. Life becomes so amazing that you don't even remember the life before. I don't remember anything but what's happening right now. And I'm happy and I love it. And so will you. All right, y'all. I will talk to you soon. Thank you for being here. Bye for now.